Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to put on some makeup and we're going to talk about feelings. I'm going to just tell you the story of how I've been feeling recently, my doctor's appointment, and possibly just like a full breakdown. But we'll get into that. I've not made some videos recently for mostly the reasons that I'm going to talk about in the video. But I just wanted to intro it with a less haggard looking, tired face. So here I am from the end of the video when I've got it all out and I'm feeling a little bit lighter. So preemptively, thanks for listening. We're going to do some skincare first because my skin feels so dry. This is the La Roche-Posay Cicaplast B5 spray. If you've ever tried the Cicaplast balm, it's like that, but in a lighter form, which I really, really like, because that is really nice when your skin's feeling a little bit sensitive, or even if it's a little bit sore, especially at this time of year. I really like that entire range, but the spray is a really nice kind of refreshing alternative to the balmy original. And then I'm going to put on this Pixi Vitamin C priming oil before I go in with any kind of makeup, and then it's going to be very kind of glowy, hydrating is the name of the game. I haven't been filming anything recently, which is really unusual for me. I think this is the longest I've ever gone without filming any kind of sit-down content. I've been vlogging every day in December on my second channel, so you may have seen me over there. But I just didn't have it in me to sit down and chat about anything for any length of time because I've been having a really rough go of it recently. I've spoken a little bit about that on my vlogs, but I didn't really, it's not very festive, is it? I didn't really want to bring it down. But I have spoken a little bit about it because I think it's important to be honest. And not everything is bright and sparkly at Christmas just because it's Christmas. Nobody wants it to be more bright and sparkly than I do, I can assure you. But this year, something, and it's nothing Christmas related, it's not seasonal at all. It kind of snowballed from slightly earlier in the year. There was an event that is not only mine, it's not my immediate family, but it's not only mine, so I'm not going to discuss that, but there was an event that kind of triggered something in me, and I was talking to a friend recently, and I said, it feels like when you shove a load of stuff in the wardrobe, and you're like, I'll deal with that later, and you're shoving it in, and you're shoving it in, and you're shoving it in. It's the last thing that you shove in, and everything falls out, and I haven't been able to close the doors again since. I'll list the stuff I'm using as I go because it's going to be distracting to keep telling you what I'm using, but I will tell you this is really nice. It's a hydrating radiance primer from Pixi. I was sent this a couple of weeks ago. I haven't worn makeup in it feels like ages, but I put it on straight away and was so, I mean, already the colour of it is so unusual. It's like a foundation colour. I say that, foundation colour for me. And it's got a really nice glow to it, but it's not like a highlight. It's really, really unusual. What have I done with my sponge? It was behind me. So yeah, I have mentioned it a little bit. So apologies if this is repetition for you. But for the rest, I did kind of want to address it because I feel like because it's been so long, I feel like it's the elephant in the room. And especially with New Year coming, I want to start fresh. I love a fresh start. So I did finally go to see a doctor, and my thought behind it was that the back pain that I've experienced for so many years could be not psychological. I don't want to dismiss it as this is not, it's all in your head, it's not real pain. But I thought there was a possibility that it was caused by tension or stress. I have been many times told by people, like, just relax. I can't, my body is never relaxed. If I have my nails done, she's always telling me to relax my hands. If ever I've had a massage, they've always commented on, like, I can't just, my shoulders are always like this. And I've definitely noticed over the past couple of years that when things have happened that have been particularly stressful, I've been worse. My back pain, it's kind of like, you know, when you get bad news or you get kind of stressful news or something happens at work and you get like an instant headache. I don't know if any of you have that, but it's kind of like that with my back pain. Sometimes if something is like if I got a phone call and someone told me something really terrible, I'd have an instant like it's a ton of bricks on your shoulders and back. So I said, I just want to explore whether or not maybe this is something else. And maybe we've been ignoring a larger element of the cause of this pain because I've been through, I feel, every kind of, I've had scans, I've been to physio, I've been to chiropractors. The only thing I think I haven't tried at this point is acupuncture, which I'm fully prepared to, but it all feels like it's not actually dealing with the root of the problem. And I have been doing my physio exercises and trying to strengthen my back, but it's not, it all feels like there could be something else. And if I could just find out what that was, it would help. So I did mention that I'd been dismissed fairly simply, I suppose, a few years ago when I went to the doctor. I actually made a video about this at the time. And at the time I was like, well, you know, I think probably they were right in this case because I'm fine and I don't think I did need to see someone. But there's been many times over the course of my adult life, and actually my life in general since I was younger, where it's been suggested that I see a therapist or that something is dealt with and then it all kind of gets brushed under the rug and then nothing is dealt with. But at the time, I think, I haven't watched it since then, but I think I was saying that I had been to see a doctor and I'd said that I wasn't able to breathe properly and I was having to like lie on the floor to get a full breath and very stressed out. And he kind of just said to me, if you think too much about not being able to breathe, you won't be able to breathe, and go away and calm yourself down. And that was quite frustrating. But the problem I had was I went into the doctors with a smile on my face, like, right, let's sort this out. And I've since learned that term is masking. I can't easily break down in front of people. I like to cry on my own, preferably in the bathroom. Locked door is fantastic. Car, amazing. But I don't enjoy breaking down in front of other people. I like to stay stable. So even in the doctor's situation, I want to go in, I want them to feel comfortable. I want to tell them what the situation is. I want them to help me, but I can't break down. So I left that doctor's office. I closed the door behind me and burst into tears. I was still in the GP surgery, but I wasn't immediately in front of that doctor. And I closed the door. As I closed the door, I was just like hysterical. Silently, of course, because I'm a woman, but hysterical. And I said this to the person I was making the appointment with, you know, I'm going to have a really hard time. And she suggested that I make a list. So I thought that's a great idea. I was talking to people online at the time because in this crazy world of vlogging, I have developed some really lovely online friendships that I actually genuinely do cherish, and people who like found me through videos who I now would actually consider to be friends and who I would go to for advice in these situations. People who I don't know really in real life, who know far too much about me in reality, but that's just the way I roll. And we were talking about it and lots of people suggested that this was a good thing. Make a list, go in, tell them, you know, don't pay too much attention to how I look because I can't give you a real indication of how I'm doing outwardly. But here are the problems that I'm suffering with. Oh, I've given myself a wonky highlighter there. It is what it is. We're only going to Meadowhall. So I started making this list. Well, talk about not being able to close the door. Started making this list the morning of my appointment, and I almost immediately started crying. The appointment was at 9:20, I want to say. Started making the list at 7:30. I cried solidly, pretty much from 7:30 till about 11 o'clock. By the time I saw the doctor at 9:20, I was like really trying to keep it together. I thought, so here's the problem. And I was just like a wreck, full wreck. This is so unlike me. Like, just not, under normal circumstances, this is not the person she would have met. But I do think that it probably was for the best. So she talked about different pain relief for my back, which she changed the painkillers that I was on and gave me some different stuff and whatever. And she made me go back to the physio, which I've done. It was very, initially I thought she was just going to kind of dismiss me as well, because she went straight in with the back pain stuff and was like, right, well, I need to send you to physio. And I was like, oh, but I really want to deal with some of the stuff as well. And then as she was typing, she was like, right, but something clearly is going on that needs to be dealt with. I'm typing, but I'm listening. And for some people, that would not work. For me, I think that was perfect. That was exactly, she was very to the point. It's exactly how I would be. I am horrible in a comforting situation. I'm not good at being comforted. I'm not good at being comforting. I don't know what to do with people. If I'm crying, if you're crying, I need us to have some distance. I can give you a hug, but I honestly, and I'm actually quite, what's the word I'm looking for? Empathetic. I'm like, I really struggle to see people upset. It really is hard. I can't think about it. It isn't that I don't care at all. I actually think it might be the opposite. But I don't know. I haven't got the tools to deal with the upset. I don't think I've got them to deal with my own, let alone someone else's. So while this might not have worked for some of you, I think it worked for me, because she was just kind of very, right, we're going to deal with this, very matter of fact. Gave me some numbers to call, which I'll be honest, I haven't called yet, about talk therapy. The reason I haven't called them yet is because I have not had a moment to myself. There is always someone in the house, and I really feel like I'm just waiting. And then obviously it's Christmas, so it's going to be the new year. But I just feel like I need a moment to myself to be able to have that conversation. And so I haven't done it yet, but I need to. And she redid my physical pain medicines. She sent me for a blood test and told me that she wanted to see me again 2 weeks out, and that she expected to prescribe me antidepressants. This is something, I was talking about something, and I'm not going to leave it in because of all of the reasons that I said while I was talking about it. I was like, no. So we're going to skip over what I just didn't say. We're not going to say that. But I am going to tell you that there are genetic markers for things in my family that I've always been very, very aware of and really vigilant about, that have just been really top of mind for most of my life. And it just never occurred to me to be vigilant about these things. And when the doctor said that she might prescribe me antidepressants, which I am expecting when I see her next week, I think that was like partially vindication that there really is something going on. This is not what the guy told you before. Just go away and sort yourself out. It's not a real thing. You've maybe been struggling with something for quite a while, and it's just breaking point is what we're at right now. But also, it felt like, oh, why weren't you aware of this? Why weren't you looking out for this? Because you were so aware of all the other things. Why weren't you looking for this? Because, of course. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. It is rough, honestly. I'm finding it hard to describe to people exactly how I'm feeling, because it's just, I think that the breathing thing is key. I just have moments of like, and it's that, you know, that when you feel like you're going to cry, and the things that you do to stop yourself from crying, that like, okay, calm yourself down, don't cry. I feel like that 90% of the time. I feel like I'm wandering around my life like just, it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable, and I don't know. I think it would be easier if there was something I could say, this is why I feel this way, but it's nothing. I'm not sad about anything. I'm not anxious about any one thing. I'm not worried about something that I can pinpoint. I'm just uneasy and overwhelmed constantly. I know I have mentioned in passing it just sharpened this pencil. The only issue with lip liners, eyeliners, etc. is they are constantly breaking for me, constantly, and they are a messy thing to end up on the floor. Right, I'll pick a different one. I did mention at some point this year that I was going to look into ADHD assessment because after years and years of people on YouTube saying, I think you've got ADHD, and me being like, that's really rude, thinking that they were just trying to psychoanalyze me through the screen. I started reading about it and could not identify more with what I read. So I kept saying, I'm going to go and get assessed. I'm going to go and get assessed. Looked into private assessment, and lots of people told me you should go through your GP and see whether or not they can refer you. And so while I was there, I mentioned that to her, and she basically said, because you're over 18, you need to pay privately for that. I don't know if this is true, but I just wasn't prepared to fight her on it. I was like a broken person. So I am going to go down that route. I've sent some emails to local clinics, and I'm going to go down that route in the new year. This is kind of the only avenue easily available to me to manage how I'm feeling right now. And I wanted to put something out here to both update those of you who are interested, but also kind of act as, like, I can go back now, I might go back to that anxiety trends video to get, obviously this is within reason because this is what I'm prepared to share on the internet, which is more than the average person. But I can go back to it and be like, oh, this is how I was feeling then. I'm really trying to figure out when things began to kind of unravel a little bit, and I think it was a really long time ago, but it's been punctuated with moments of, can't handle this. I think it's just always been there, and sometimes it pops up as, this is too much, and then pop it back down again, and you never deal with it. It's never resolved. And so this time I want to resolve whatever it is. And I'm also hopeful that a side benefit to that might be that my pain, that does not help with my low mood at all, might also be regulated alongside it. Moved everything around. I cannot find anything. Oh, here's the brush I was looking for. And also to explain my absence, because it is really unusual for me to go away and not make sit down content for this amount of time. This is very abnormal. I mean, I had a baby and within a week I was back to my normal schedule. So this is not, which might be something to address. That might be part of this, perhaps we need to talk about why I needed to do that, why I need to do this. There's so much to unpack. But I just wanted to kind of talk about it. I know that there are a lot of people out there talking about, right now, the holidays are a really hard time for people. Christmas is really, really difficult. Yes, completely true. It is. And for some people, it's sad for so many different reasons. But because of, people that aren't there, totally get it. But in this instance, and I think in a lot of people's instances, it's just kind of fever pitch around this time, maybe because that you will have to be seen by so many people. I don't know, or maybe it's a complete coincidence that you've reached a breaking point, much like myself, around this time of year, because truly, this is not a Christmas is a difficult time in my case. It's just a difficult time, and bad timing, because I love Christmas so much. I know that, we don't always feel super festive. Sometimes we do feel low around Christmas time. This is next level. This is not that. This is different from me. This is different to how I've ever felt. So I, for a multitude of reasons, I wanted to make this video, mostly for me, but also for some of you. And I am going to just start making random beauty content again. I want to talk about some of the stuff that I've found that I really enjoy. and I want to talk about like nonsense things again. I feel like I had this kind of weight on me of this needs to be discussed before I do anything else. And I really think that was the kind of a block. Until you've talked about this, you can't just sit down and do the stuff that you usually do. I realise the lighting's been really weird this video as well, because it's like in and out. Winter, and it's 9 AM on a Saturday, so we're going to go for our last shopping trip of the year. If you're interested at all, I have been vlogging every day on my other channel, and I'm off work now until after Christmas. I'm working between Christmas and the New Year, but I'm off work now till after Christmas, so I'm really going to work on my mood over the next week. You can follow me on that journey and see how I do. But thank you for watching this video and sticking with me through my many ups and downs over the last 12 years. And I will see you soon with some fluffier content.